In the next few minutes, you'll discover 9 shocking secrets revealed by former cruise line crew members. Secrets that most passengers don't see and that cruise lines pray never to discover. Whether this is your very first cruise or your 20th, what you're about to learn could completely change the way you sail forever. Some of these secrets will shock you, while others could quietly ruin your entire vacation if you're not paying attention. From cleverly rigged games to hidden tracking systems, and even the one cabin on the ship you should never, ever book. We're revealing it all. Stick around until the very end, because after all the shocking truths, there's one surprisingly heartwarming secret, a reminder of why so many crew members still say, it's all worth it. So, grab your boarding pass and let's begin. Number 1. Passenger profiling and tracking. Think no one's watching you on board? Think again. According to former cruise employees, the crew often knows far more about you than you'd ever imagine. And it starts long before you even set foot on the ship. The moment you swipe your cruise card or put on that shiny medallion, a digital trail begins. Every drink you order, every souvenir you buy, even the deck you linger on the most, it's all recorded. But the technology is only half the story. Behind the scenes, human observation fills in the rest. One ex-bartender revealed he was given a list of high-spending passengers before the first night even began, complete with names, photos, and favorite drinks to memorize. That's why some frequent cruisers are greeted by name at the bar, their favorite cocktail waiting before they even sit down. It feels like 5-star intuition, but it's actually strategy. Former dining staff admitted they were told to keep notes on guests who always requested the same table, while cabin stewards quietly passed along word about passengers who were especially kind or notoriously demanding. This mix of data and gossip creates something close to passenger profiling. High-value guests often receive faster service and special perks. Chronic complainers, however, might find their requests handled with a little extra caution. There's no official blacklist, at least none anyone will admit to, but reputations, both digital and whispered, spread fast in the tight world of a cruise ship crew. And why does that matter? Because how you're perceived may quietly shape how you're treated. A friendly smile and a fair tip can open invisible doors. Smoother service, surprise upgrades, even an unexpected bottle of wine waiting in your cabin. So remember this simple rule. The ship may be vast, but word travels faster than the tide. Number 2. The rigged casinos. You walk into the ship's casino. The lights are dazzling, the slots are singing, and for a moment, it feels like you've stepped into a floating Las Vegas. But according to former cruise dealers, you might want to hold that thought. One insider admitted that the slot machines on cruise ships often have worse odds than the ones sitting in a roadside gas station, especially once you're out in international waters. And here's where it gets interesting. There's a popular myth that cruise lines operate in some kind of lawless maritime gray zone, that they can do whatever they want. The truth? Major cruise lines actually follow their own internal gaming standards, many modeled after the Nevada Gaming Control Board. So, how do they still make a fortune? That's where the real secret hides. Insiders say most modern cruise ships use server-based slot machines, meaning they can be adjusted remotely. No, it's not illegal, but it does allow the casino to quietly lower payout percentages, often much lower than what you'd find in a typical land-based casino. Add in less favorable table rules, like blackjack paying 6 to 5 instead of the traditional 3 to 2, and the house edge becomes almost unbeatable. And yet, night after night, thousands of passengers keep playing, convinced they've got a fair shot. Sure, you'll hear winners, jackpots announced over the speakers, free cruises handed out, champagne toasts. It all feels electric. But those moments are carefully designed, because while a few people win big, the cruise line wins bigger. Here's how to outsmart the odds. Treat the casino for what it really is: entertainment, not an investment. Set a firm cash limit. Never chase losses, and if you want to make your money last, stick to the lower stakes table games, where at least the odds are easy to understand. And those flashy, hypnotic slot machines? Maybe think twice before feeding them your vacation budget. Number 3, the food isn't always fresh. That stunning buffet, stretching endlessly before your eyes, shimmering with gourmet dishes, seafood towers, and desserts that look straight out of a 5-star kitchen, seems like it was prepared just moments before you walked in. But according to former cruise kitchen staff, the truth is far more complicated. While much of the food is cooked fresh on board, many of the key ingredients arrive frozen long before your voyage even begins. For safety and logistics, items like seafood, steak, chicken, even special meals such as kosher or allergy-friendly options are stored frozen. That juicy lobster tail on your plate? Chances are, it's been thawed, not freshly caught. Now, this isn't about laziness or deception. It's about survival. A modern cruise ship is essentially a floating city, serving thousands of guests up to 5 times a day, all from kitchens packed onto a single deck. Efficiency isn't optional. It's everything. But that efficiency comes at a cost. Not everything is as gourmet as it looks. Crew members reveal that many buffet staples, like scrambled eggs, often come from pre-mixed liquid cartons rather than freshly cracked shells. And those golden pastries or crusty breads, most were baked from frozen dough. Seasoned cruisers know there's a noticeable gap between the meals in the main dining hall and the ones you'll find in specialty restaurants. The difference isn't just in the flavor, it's in the quality. A steak in the main dining room might be decent, but in a specialty spot, it's a finer cut, cooked to perfection. And that juice they serve? It's freshly squeezed, not a sugary substitute. So how do you eat like an insider? If you're chasing the best quality meal, the specialty restaurant is always your safest bet. But if you're hitting the buffet, skip the pre-plated trays and head straight to the made-to-order stations. The omelet bar, the pasta corner, the sizzling stir-fry station. That's where you'll find the real freshness. Ingredients cooked right in front of you, just the way they should be. Number 4, excursions can be unsafe. You've pictured it for months. That perfect day when you finally step off the ship, ready to zip line through emerald jungles, stroll through ancient ruins, or explore hidden coves. But former crew members warn, behind the glossy brochures and smiling guides, the reality of cruise excursions isn't always as safe as it seems. One former tour coordinator revealed a hard truth. Not all excursions are created equal. Many of them aren't operated by the cruise line at all. They're outsourced to third-party companies. In some countries, where safety regulations are vague or loosely enforced, staff training and equipment standards can vary wildly. Even worse, if something does go wrong, an accident, a fall, an injury, the cruise line is usually shielded from direct responsibility. Why? Because of the small print in that liability waiver you signed without a second thought. One former director recalled a passenger who slipped during a jungle trek and had to cover every medical expense through their own insurance. The cruise line? They simply refunded the price of the excursion and quietly moved on. Here's the part most travelers never realize. Booking an excursion through the cruise line isn't really about the activity itself. It's about one huge guarantee: the ship will not leave without you. If your official, ship-sponsored tour gets stuck in traffic or runs behind schedule, the captain will wait. But if your cheaper, independent tour gets delayed, a flat tire, bad weather, anything, the ship sails on schedule, and you'll be the one scrambling to catch up at the next port, on your own dime. So, how do you plan safely? If you're staying close to the port, maybe a quick beach break or a local food tour, an independent excursion can be cheaper and perfectly fine. But if you're heading deep inland for an all-day adventure, that extra cost for the cruise line's tour isn't just about convenience. It's your safety net. Because when the tide turns and the ship horn sounds, the last thing you want is to watch it sail away without you. Number 5. Free perks are sales traps. Free champagne at the art auction, a complimentary spa consultation, an exclusive cocktail tasting just for you. It all sounds amazing, right? But former cruise employees warn these free perks almost always come with strings attached. In reality, they're part of a carefully crafted psychological playbook designed to get you in the door and spend more than you ever planned. The goal? Simple. Turn your curiosity into their commission. Take the art auction, for example. You're welcomed with a glass of bubbly, entertained by a charismatic host who makes you feel like you belong. Before you even realize it, you're caught in a high-pressure sales pitch. One couple reportedly walked away with a $9,000 painting, bought on a whim, only to feel the sting of regret once they returned home. And that free spa consultation? It's rarely just a friendly chat. It's a carefully rehearsed upsell. For detox wraps, anti-aging creams, and treatments that can cost hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Even the wine tastings come with a catch. Sure, you'll sip a few tastes, but by the end, there's a push to buy the full bottle, often at a massive markup. So how do you enjoy the perks without falling for the trap? Simple. Go in with awareness and boundaries. Take the champagne. Enjoy the show. But keep a firm mental limit and don't feel guilty for walking away. You're not being rude when you say, "No, thank you." You're being a smart traveler. Number 6. Theft is often swept under the rug. You might think that if your wallet or jewelry goes missing on a cruise ship, security will spring into action. Cameras rolling, investigators on the case. But according to former security officers, that's rarely how it works. Unless it's a major incident, say theft over $10,000, which must be reported under U.S. law, most cases are quietly handled behind the scenes. Now, that doesn't mean security doesn't care. There are plenty of stories of dedicated teams reviewing hours of footage to reunite guests with lost or stolen belongings. But the cruise line's top priority is its image. A public accusation or even a moment of visible panic could ruin the relaxed vacation vibe for thousands of passengers and lead to terrible reviews. So when someone reports a missing item and there's no clear suspect, they're often advised to recheck their cabin and file a claim later with their travel insurance. The matter fades quietly into the background. Out of sight, out of mind. James, plane crash. 6 minutes in. Accidents abound. So how do you protect yourself? Start simple. Always use your in-room safe for valuables, passports, electronics, and cash. Never leave bags unattended. And avoid flashing expensive items in public spaces. Here's a pro tip. Most new cruisers never hear. Before you board, take a quick photo of the contents of your suitcase. If your luggage is lost or something gets stolen, that snapshot becomes your best evidence for an insurance claim. Because on the open sea, sometimes what disappears stays gone. Number 7. Harsh crew living conditions. When you see crew members smiling as they serve drinks or tidy rooms, it's easy to imagine them finishing their shift and retreating to a comfortable cabin, maybe even their own little piece of paradise at sea. But according to former cruise workers, the reality couldn't be more different. Just beneath the glittering decks where passengers sip cocktails and watch sunsets lies an entirely different world. Most crew live deep below, in narrow windowless cabins, often sharing a room barely larger than a walk-in closet. These living quarters sit on the ship's lowest decks, areas guests never see. No ocean view, almost no privacy. And comfort? That's a luxury they rarely get. To make things harder, the hours are relentless. 10 to 12-hour shifts, 7 days a week, all beneath the laughter and music above. Contracts that can last anywhere from 3 to 11 months without a single day off. One bartender recalled finishing a 12-hour shift only to return to a sweltering cabin with a broken air conditioner and a cold meal waiting on the desk. So why share this? Not to make you feel guilty, but to offer perspective. The person cleaning your room, serving your dinner, or guiding you on deck is often running on exhaustion and doing it all with a smile. They haven't seen their families in months, yet they still greet you warmly every single day. Done. And this inside look also comes with a crucial travel tip. Former crew warn against booking cabins on the lower decks, especially near corridors, stairwells, or elevators. Those areas are noisy, high-traffic zones where sleep can be a real challenge. For a quieter stay, aim for a cabin midship, on a higher deck, ideally surrounded by other passenger rooms. And finally, here's where you can truly make a difference. Tip generously. Say please and thank you. Be patient. Be kind. Those small gestures ripple through the ship, and they're remembered long after. Why? Because while you might forget a face after your cruise, the crew remembers the passengers who treated them with respect. And that kindness often comes back in small, unexpected ways that make your trip even more special. Number 8. Your cruise card is a control device. That little plastic card in your pocket or the sleek medallion around your neck if you're sailing with Princess feels like your key to freedom. It opens your cabin door, buys your drinks, and gets you on and off the ship without a second thought. But what most passengers don't realize is that it's also the backbone of the ship's digital surveillance system. Unlike rumors or crew gossip, this system is official, centralized, and always running. Every single time you swipe or tap that card, a record is made of what you bought, when you played in the casino, which excursions you booked, and even the exact times you left or reboarded the ship. In seconds, this data forms a detailed digital footprint of your entire trip, one that staff can access instantly. Former guest service agents admit they could pull up a passenger's full account within moments, seeing total spending, unpaid tabs, excursion bookings, or any unresolved charges. If a credit card was declined or a bar tab went unpaid, restrictions could quietly be placed on the account until it was fixed. But here's the other side of that system. Former crew say that loyal guests and high spenders often got surprise perks delivered directly to their cabin. A complimentary bottle of wine, a priority reservation, or a personal invitation to an exclusive event, all triggered automatically by the data. It's not based on memory or favoritism. It's all data-driven. And that data decides who you are on board, whether the system sees you as a valued guest, a financial risk, or someone worth keeping a closer eye on. Why does this matter? Because that card or medallion isn't just a travel pass. It's a digital passport that defines your identity on the ship. The smart move? Keep an eye on your own spending through the cruise app. And if a service is ever declined, don't just walk away. Head straight to guest services and ask why. A little awareness goes a long way, especially when every tap tells your story. Number 9. Discover the ship's secret corners. While most passengers scramble for a lounge chair at the main pool or wait in long buffet lines, The savviest cruisers are quietly uncovering the ship's hidden treasures. Every ship has them. Quiet lounges tucked behind art galleries, scenic decks off the usual path, and secret observation spots whispered about by experienced travelers. A little awareness goes a long way, especially when every tap tells your story. Number 9. Discover the ship's secret corners. While most passengers scramble for a lounge chair at the main pool or wait in long buffet lines, the savviest cruisers are quietly uncovering the ship's hidden treasures. Every ship has them. Quiet lounges tucked behind art galleries, scenic decks off the usual path, and secret observation spots whispered about by experienced travelers. One former entertainment host revealed her favorite sunset spot wasn't the crowded top deck. It was a nearly empty nook at the front of the ship, known to only a few curious guests. On newer ships, there are even hidden venues, speakeasy-style bars tucked behind unmarked doors, discovered by only a handful of passengers. Finding these secret spots can transform a bustling cruise into a serene, almost private escape. So how do you uncover them? Befriend the crew. Your room steward, bartender, or onboard entertainer has explored every inch of the ship. Ask politely for their favorite quiet spot with a great view, and they're often happy to share insider secrets. Here's one of the best-kept tips. The ideal time to enjoy the ship's top amenities, the main pools, hot tubs, or fitness center, is on a port day. When thousands of passengers are ashore, you'll have these spaces almost entirely to yourself. Hit the like button, subscribe, and stay one step ahead for your next adventure. Until we set sail again, travel wisely, respect the crew, and turn your next cruise into an unforgettable adventure. See you at sea!